Hey there, this is Real Talk Baseball and Carlos Baseball. With me as Will Power. How's it going, Will?
Good, man. How's it going with you?
Dude, it's a lot of baseball going on, so I'm happy. I'm really excited. We got the National League done, so we got the NLCS already. But let's talk about the games first. Let's talk about the Braves and the Marlins.
That was some surprising baseball, man. I was really surprised that I wasn't surprised that the Braves came out on top because that was my pick to win the series anyway.
Yeah, I
I
picked
was
the
just surprised
Marlins.
that they swept.
Yeah,
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 and then I don't know if you caught the last game, but the Braves pulled a shutout, 7-0.
7-0. Yeah,
Man,
their
and
pitching is it's on it's on. I didn't think the Braves having enough pitching, but they did. They have Anderson that's been pitching really good. He's been throwing, I guess a lot of people's been talking about his changeup, and it's hard to hit, and he actually pitched two scoreless games in the playoffs.
really,
So yeah, so that's something really really good for the Braves. I know I picked the Marlins, and I only picked the Marlins because, like I said, it was a momentum thing, and they've never lost a playoff series. They always made it to the World Series when they make the playoffs. So the Braves shut my mouth up, and they went ahead and they went ahead and they swept the Marlins, which I don't know anything about baseball now, so. But that's good. That's good though. The Braves did show up. They did what they needed to do. Their hitting is just elite. They have Acuna hitting home runs, and then they're hitting Acuna with baseballs, of course, too. And he's
and
tired
the
of it.
next day he goes over 4 with 4 strikeouts.
But he's tired of it, man. I get it. He hits a lot of home runs. He hits a lot of he hits for average, which is really good. So yeah, of course he's gonna come out and say, I'm tired of people hitting me. Like, they're scared of me. They don't hit me, just walk me. But
Yeah.
whatever. They won the series already, and they're moving on to the next stage, which is good for them. There's going to be a big time showdown because in the other side we have the Dodgers and Padres. That was a great series up to the third game, because the third game was kind of like, what happened? But the first game they were going at it. The Braves and Dodgers, the Padres and Dodgers were going at it. And in the second game, dude, oh my God, the second game was a nail biter
I
for
know, man.
it was just a nail
I
biter.
I think I was telling you this before, but I was watching the game, and when I got to the ninth inning and they brought Kenley Jensen out, and I was just like, oh my God, here we go.
Yeah,
You know,
why? Why
and
did they do that though? Why did they bring him out? They
he's
knew.
Roberts, man. I once he got one batter on base, he should have just pulled him already. Short
Yeah,
leash with that guy.
yeah,
We cannot trust that guy to be
yeah.
the closer of the Dodgers anymore.
No.
He could easily be like, a seventh inning, possibly an eighth inning guy, or close out the game when they're up by 4 or 5 runs, which actually I think that was the scenario. I think the Dodgers were up 4 runs, and he ended up either loading the bases or allowing 2 base runners. But,
They were up three
man,
runs. They were up 3 runs, and they scored 2 runs again against him. And then he left the runner on base, and then Joe Kelly came in. He walked Tatis, and then he walked Machado, filled up the bases, and now you have you have nowhere else to put no more hitters, and that was a nail biter because he was making good pitches. It's just the hitters were actually, they did their job. They did what they needed to do to get on base. It's just they were executing bat by at bat, so that helped them out. And before I continue, I'm wearing an SD hat only to represent all the people that are actually SD fans out there. I know I'm a Dodger fan, and all these Dodger fans are going to be hating on me because I'm wearing the SD hat. But we got to give it up to the Padres, though. The Padres did have a great season, and they have a potential to be one of the strongest teams in the future. And I see that. And I just want to say this too. A lot of people are complaining because they didn't have their 2 elite starters. But guess what? You didn't have your 2 elite starters in the season either. And guess what? You always battled against the Dodgers better than what you did in the playoffs. So don't say that. Don't stop saying that. You're embarrassing yourself. Stop. Just say you had a good season. The better team won, which is the Dodgers, and they're moving on for sure. But they battled it out, right, Will? I think everybody was it was an amazing game. And that amazing play at center field was like, whoa. It's just, oh my God. We'll go ahead and play the video because it's an incredible play. I think it's going to go down for one of the top plays in playoff history.
Yeah, I think so. I agree.
Yeah.
It might be the number one top play in outfield.
In recent history, right?
Baseball.
Yeah.
And they tried to compare Josh Reddick's catch, robbing a home run in right field, comparing to Bellinger's center field catch. There is no comparison.
No.
If you watch the video of Josh Reddick when he robbed the home run, it was like a wall scraper for sure, like barely going over. Like we don't even know if it would have went over for sure. It could have been just a double, but he jumped up when he didn't have to. It was a very unnecessary jump. He could have hurt himself. Like that wasn't smart baseball the way that he was doing.
It was a good play. It was a good play though. It was
definitely a good play.
Yeah, it was a good play.
You can't take that away from him, but
you can't compare it. I don't compare it. And especially because, you know, if let's say Bellinger doesn't make that catch, the Padres would have gone up on the Dodgers at that point. It would have been 5-4.
There were 2 on base already, so that would have been a 3-run home run.
No, it would have been a 2. It was one man on base because at that point the game was 3-2, and then he would have hit the home run, and they would have been up 1. So it would have been game changing, and that, you know, the bullpen would have been working a lot more better for the Padres because they had the lead, and I believe it would have been a little different. Would have been a little different outcome. So that catch, because of how much, you know, background it had, it makes it more special. And not because we're Dodger fans were saying that, but even Padre fans were like, wow, how the hell did he get there? That route that he took, and then he just found it and boom. And it looked like he had on it.
Perfect to be able to make that jump catch like that. People don't understand, like, baseball is all about timing. Everything is about timing. As a pitcher, if you don't release the ball at the perfect timing, it's going to be wild.
Yeah.
As a hitter, if you don't start your swing at the perfect time, you're going to miss, you know, and just like catching in the outfield or a dive or a jump catch, if you don't have your timing perfect, you're going to miss it, you know, and that was perfect timing from an amazing ball player in Cody Bellinger. Now, just hoping that his bat comes to life a little bit more in the next series.
So both
after that.
Yeah, so both what was it? NLDS. Both NLDS ended up in the sweep. The Dodgers swept the Padres. The last game was just like boring. You know, the announcers didn't make it sound any better. So it's just like whatever. But yeah, what do you think about the Braves and the Dodgers showing up? Are you happy about that series? Are you confident in that series? And who are you picking in that series?
Well, I had picked the Braves to win against the Marlins, and I had picked the Dodgers to win against the Padres. And Atlanta's pitching has been okay in the postseason, but their bats are slacking. And you look on the other side at the Dodgers, and their pitching has been amazing, other than Kenley Jansen, and their hitting has been amazing. You know, up and down the lineup, everybody's either, even if their average is really low, even if they're not getting on base, they're working the count. They're getting the pitcher to throw 6-7 pitches in their at-bats. The only one that I see that tries to hit on the first pitch is maybe Corey Seager. But he gets a pass because that guy, when it comes to first pitch swings, he gets on base a lot. You know, he's definitely the guy that you want swinging on the first pitch because he sees
the doubles machine
so good. He's playing like the player that we all thought he was going to be, you know, 5 years ago when he came up, when he won Rookie of the Year, you know, and he's just an amazing player, and he's coming up on free agency. So you can kind of expect him to be playing really good baseball right now, also trying to get that big contract like everybody else.
But the Braves are slacking on hitting? I don't think so, man. Albies, Acuna, you know, Freeman, they're hitting. And then you have DeArnold. Oh, man, like,
I got the stats up right here. You know, I just kind of said that batting average doesn't really matter too much, but in this sense, you know, you got Freddie Freeman, who's supposed to might actually win MVP this season. He's batting 167 in the postseason. You know, 167 for a guy that's supposed to be MVP. And then, you know, another guy, Nick Markakis, who's usually like a solid like 300 hitter with not too much power, but at least he gets on base. He's batting 167. Ozzy Albies and even 200. Marcelo Osuna, 227. really the only one that's actually doing really, really good is Travis d'Arnaud, who's batting
Darno.
421. You know, like he has 2 home runs in the postseason so far, and he's batting 421. And then right under him, you got Acuna batting 273 with an on base percentage of 360. You know, so at least his on base percentage, like he's still walking, he's not really striking
Yeah.
out much. But a 273, that's not bad at all. You know, that's not super elite numbers, but in the postseason against the pitching that he's seeing in a small sample size, because it's only been, 6 games for the Braves. I
Yeah.
see him as, pretty consistent, batting 270, 280 for the rest of the postseason. So he's definitely one to watch also. But, like I said, like Osuna, Albies, Markakis, and Freeman, those guys are kind of slacking a little bit. And those are the guys that you really need to hit in your lineup. Those are the guys that you count on to hit. So at least the other guys, and Swanson, Acuna, d'Arnaud, and Austin Riley, they're doing decent.
Yeah. But just the names itself, you said all the names out there, and it just sounds like, oh man, these guys are gonna come and they're gonna come and hit the ball really hard, and they're gonna play in Global Life Field. It's a big field right there.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of ground to cover, and they were playing out in Houston, which is a smaller field than what they're gonna go play in this next series against the Dodgers. The Dodgers already played there, so they have a little bit more of practice, playing in that field. They played the 3 games against the Padres, so it's an advantage for the Dodgers.
That's actually what I was thinking for the National League Championship Series and the World Series, that the Dodgers kind of have a little advantage there, because they're going to be playing in the same ballpark, 3 games to win the division series, and then however many games it takes to win the championship series, and then however many games it takes to win the World Series. So they're going to have the most experience on that field.
So you mentioned their hitting's not all that great, but I kind of match them up to where the Dodgers and the Braves are gonna battle it out hitting wise, if everything goes by plan by for the Braves, because they are gonna face a better pitching staff than they did with the Marlins. So, but pitching wise, like I said, Anderson, it has that changeup where it's just getting known throughout the league. That's a really out pitch for him. And since he came to the league, he's had a 1.43 ERA, which is really good. That's really good. Yeah. So he's gonna be matching up either with Kershaw or Buehler. They still haven't gave out the first pitcher for the game 1. So we'll keep a close eye on that for sure. And I hope the Dodgers do come on top. I'm picking the Dodgers against the Braves. Again, I have a lot of friends that are Braves fans out there, and we're gonna be kind of battling it out, right? I mean, they've played the Dodgers in playoffs before, and just by looking at the players that are out there in the game, I think the Dodgers have a better hitting, they have a better pitching, they have a better bullpen, except for closer, because we don't know who the closer is. At least for the Braves, they know who the closer is, and they know who to give the ball to. And the Dodgers, it's kind of like a toss-up. Like, who do I put out there? If Roberts has that choice, because I think he's still sticking with Kenley Jensen. If he sticks with Kenley Jensen, a lot of Dodger fans are going to be mad, and a lot of people are going to be mad if he doesn't come through, because this is the year that they have to go and win it. There's other teams, like we've mentioned, there's other teams that are in the bottom of the West that are actually getting better, and they just played one, the Padres. The Padres are looking good for the future, and if you think that you can get through the Padres, if the Padres get that pitcher, that extra pitcher that they need, that's it for the Dodgers, man. So I think the Dodgers need to go ahead and win it now. I think they need to, beat the Braves and beat them at their game, like bunting and hitting. I mean, you can't hit home runs in that park. They didn't hit that many home runs.
Right.
So if the Dodgers come out like they did in Game 3, hitting hits here and there, I think they got it. If the Braves go out and try to hit home runs in every at-bat that they have, I don't think it's going to happen for them. That's a bit, like I said, it's a big park, and who was it? Machado and first baseman from the Padres were the only ones that hit a home run from the Padres. And it was the 3, and these teams hit a lot of home runs during the season. So, we'll see what happens. Like I said, their hitting matches up, and to me, and the pitching just doesn't do that. So I think the Dodgers come on top on this one. So yeah, we both picked the Dodgers. I mean, I think we already kind of knew that, and for people that are following us, they knew that we are going to pick the Dodgers no matter what.
Yeah, I just pulled up the Dodgers postseason stats. Just like I had the Braves postseason stats, and on paper and watching these guys play, I really think that the Dodgers have better hitting and pitching, obviously. But just to go through a few names, you have four guys hitting over 300 in the postseason. That's Bellinger, Peterson, Betts, and Barnes. Barnes is hitting 800. He's batting 800 right now. Out of
play every game though.
Out of 5 at bats, so that's not such a big sample size. So out of 5 at bats, he has 4 hits. He splits time with Will Smith. Yeah. Austin Barnes has been named Kershaw's personal catcher. Yeah. That's just Kershaw's personal preference. Back when AJ Ellis was with the Dodgers, it was always Kershaw and Ellis. Now it's Kershaw and Barnes. And I understand that because a lot of pitchers, it's called a battery. Where a pitcher and a catcher just kind of just like they mesh well together. And certain pitchers prefer certain catchers because they kind of already know like what each other's thinking. They already know what the catcher already knows what the pitcher wants to throw, and I get that. But Austin Barnes, like, I don't think that he should just stick with just Kershaw. I think he should be, catching more games than that, especially if he's hitting like this, And
you have Will Smith that hit 5
Will Smith's hitting really good too. He's batting 294, and he has 17 at bats. That guy in high school, he wasn't a catcher. He was a third baseman, and he was batting over 400 for his whole entire high school career. And he pitched a little bit too, but, he's not going to do that anymore. But that kind of shows you, like, why he has the arm that he actually does, because he did pitch in high school. So, Bellinger hitting 316, Peterson hitting 333, Betts hitting 368, Barnes hitting 800. A little bit under that, Will Smith at 294, Corey Seager at 278, AJ Pollock 267.
But that's not that bad, though. I don't think that's bad batting average.
No, those are amazing numbers, especially for it's like there's 7 guys right there that are batting 267 or better, and the 3 guys that are not batting that high, it's Justin Turner that we know could easily turn around at any moment because he's one of the best hitting third basemen in the league. And you have Chris Taylor, who was super hot before the postseason started, so he could easily turn it around also.
Easily, yeah.
And you have Max Muncy, who's only batting 188. Now, that is extremely low, right?
But with Max Muncy, like, I don't know if you've seen his last game, he's hitting the ball a little bit better. So that's signs that he's getting better, and he might get better as the series happens, like game 1, game 2, game 3. So I think he's going to get better. We just seeing signs of him getting better. And then not only that, he walks a lot, and that's what the Dodgers.
That was my next point.
Yeah.
That, I always say that I prefer on base percentage as opposed to average because the guy that's hitting behind you, especially if you have someone that's batting over 300, they could easily move you over to the next base or even knock you in. And his on base percentage, even though his average is 188, his on base percentage is 409.
Wow,
that is 250 points higher than his batting average, and that's insane. Most guys don't even have a 409 batting average when they're batting 409 on base percentage when they're batting 300. This guy has a 409 on base percentage and he's batting 188,
which is really good.
Not striking out a lot. He's taking a lot of pitches, and that's one thing about the Dodgers is they love working the count. All the guys, top to bottom. Like I was saying earlier, Corey Seager is the only one that really utilizes the first pitch swing, but every single one of these guys, I'm pretty sure it's the hitting coach or Dave Roberts or somebody. They're telling them, like, take that first pitch, get a good vision on it first, so that way you can kind of see it coming out of his hand. You don't have to worry about even trying to swing. You see the pitch, you see the rotation of the ball, you see how fast he's throwing it, the movement on it, and you kind of get a good feel of the ball. And these guys, they know how to work the count. Will Smith is one of the best hitters when it comes to having 2 strikes on him already. He's batting over, I think they said it was like 600 for the season with 2 strikes on them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what happens once the games start. They start on Tuesday. No, Monday. The
Monday
game
for the American League.
Mondays for American League or Sunday. I think Sunday's American League and Monday is the National
Oh,
League.
really?
Yeah. So
I was
yeah.
kind of hoping we could have some baseball this weekend.
Yeah, so we have Sunday for sure, American League, and then the National League is on Monday. So we'll have to wait till Monday to see what happens with the Braves and Dodgers. Anything else to add, Will?
Yeah, one thing. I mean, I know I'm wearing a Braves hat right now, but I always got to go back to my roots. And
Yeah, I should have brought my Dodger hat. Yeah.
Because, Dodgers are going to win, so I got to show my support for my team.
Yeah, I should have got my Dodger hat, but I have my sign right here, so this is the
I mean, I got a couple fireplaces if you want, to hold that hat for you.
All right. If you guys want to comment on our videos or have any questions for us, go ahead and comment on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and even here on YouTube. But we would like to, answer all those questions. Carlos Baseball, this is Will Power. This is Real Talk Baseball, signing out.
See ya.